Secluded by the surrounding wilderness, Grey Owl's cabin sits protected in the heart of Prince Albert National Park. The cabin and the man have become synonymous with Waskesiu.
It gives us a really interesting story to tell, for one thing. The story of Grey Owl and his association with Prince Albert National Park is very well known. The presence of his cabin in the park, whether people go to visit it or not, is, I think, really interesting for people.
A trek to the cabin is an adventure that combines culture, history, and the great outdoors all in one. It starts just over the berm that separates Waskesiu from the Kingsmere River. It's here our guide, Natalie Matheson, provides her expertise about the area.
You really get an idea of Kingsmere Lake, how it is a very large lake, how the lake can change very quickly depending on the direction of the wind.
The cabin is accessible by foot over a 20-kilometer hiking trail, or you can follow in the paddle strokes of Grey Owl himself and canoe upstream to Kingsmere Lake. The water route includes a rail portage around the rapids. From there, it's a 9-kilometer ride across Kingsmere Lake to the North Campground. Then a 3-kilometer hike takes you to the cabins on the shore of Ajawan Lake.
We do cross a few boardwalked areas over some boggy area, and then you reach a precipice and look down, and you've come upon Grey Owl's cabin. Just that initial first look at the cabin is usually the most breathtaking. People really want to stop and just take in what they see.
Each summer, the site draws a number of local and international visitors.
They really like to see the way he lived, where he lived, how he lived a very minimalist or simple life. He had none of the amenities that we would normally have in today's world. He traveled everywhere by canoe, which was very unique.
Grey Owl was born Archie Bellany in Hastings, England in 1888. He was a fur trapper who adopted First Nations philosophies. His writing and lecturing tours helped introduce the idea of wildlife conservation to the world. Many are curious to see the home of this controversial Canadian icon and his partner, Anna Harrio.
It was his wife, Anna Harrio, that got him to change his ways from being a hunter and a trapper to being a conservationist, and actually realizing that the resources we do have are not going to be here forever, so we have to conserve what we have.
The editor of Outdoor Life online magazine traveled from Seattle for the excursion and backcountry camping.
We haven't seen anybody else all day. We probably won't see anybody until I walk the 20 kilometers back to town tomorrow. So it's the forest, it's the wilderness, it's the solitude that impresses me most.
Far enough away to gain seclusion, yet within reach of those whose genuine interest prompts them to make the trip. Beaver Lodge extends a welcome to you if your heart is right. It's Grey Owl's own words that best sum up the journey.
And the fact that you've got to put out some effort to get to his cabin, I think is something that would have made him happy.
Little has changed in the 72 years since Grey Owl lived here. He died in the winter of 1938 of pneumonia. The family grave plot is located behind the cabin. The wildlife and pristine water will leave you in awe of the Saskatchewan wilderness. For tour information, contact the Waskesiu Marina Adventure Center. For the Williams Moving and Storage Big Summer, I'm Lisa Risom.